Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. You know that LSU, in this next signing cycle in 2025, has commitments from the number one quarterback, Bryce Underwood, the number one running back from right down the road in New Orleans, in Harlem Berry. And then you got DeCorian Moore, the number one wide receiver in the country. I think everyone who follows LSU with any modicum of sincerity knows that those three guys are committed to LSU and they're the top player at each position. But LSU's looking to add to that from out of state. And if you follow along on 3, Chad Simmons, who's their national director of recruiting, moved his recruiting prediction machine pick for the number one interior offensive lineman in the nation from Auburn to LSU. Micah DeBose, who was once committed to committed to Georgia from Mobile, has visited LSU, has struck up a relationship with Brad Davis, and it feels like a lot of people within the industry think that DeBose could end up at LSU. This is becoming a star-studded class. And I've talked a lot about the profile that Brian Kelly likes to recruit to on the offensive line. And DeBose doesn't necessarily fit it perfectly. The profile that we've seen from his time at Notre Dame and his time in early on at LSU is the long, lean frames that are good athletes, and you fill them out. Will Campbell fits that mold for sure. Emory Jones fits that mold for sure. Those guys have put on weight since they've gotten to LSU, but they're not 335, 340-pound high schoolers. DeBose is. He's 6'4", 340 pounds out of the city of Mobile, but rated as a 4-star recruit across the board, was committed to Georgia. Auburn's very interested, and now LSU's in the mix. He's a top 100 prospect by every site, and on 3 says he's the number one interior offensive lineman in the class, which one is really important. And then the other piece to this is he's the number 2 player in the state of Alabama. And look, I don't know if Micah DeBose ever had any interest in going to Alabama when Nick Saban was there. I have no idea. I know he committed to Georgia, so I couldn't tell you. But LSU has not gone into Alabama and gotten very, very highly sought-after players. Yes, Josh Williford was a good guard at LSU they got from the state of Alabama. Yes, Quan Alexander became an excellent player, but his high school injury concerns scared some teams off, and LSU was able to go in there and steal one late. But by and large, the state of Alabama has kind of been off limits for LSU. They've done well in Mississippi. They've done fantastically in Texas, always done well in Florida as well, and Georgia has been a bit of a honey hole for LSU as well. State of Alabama has kind of been off limits, and I'm curious if that changes. Does Kalen DeBoer have the ability to lock down that state? We know Hugh Freeze is a good recruiter, and they'll get their guys, and they're really trying to get Micah DeBose. And I know that Mobile is way far away from those two schools. It's a long way from Mobile to Tuscaloosa, relatively speaking. Certainly a long way from Mobile to Auburn. But that's a powerful state, and Alabama and Auburn have done very, very well in there. And I'm just curious if maybe that's another place that LSU might be able to tap into. Either way, big-time offensive line prospects are going to be looking at LSU because of the monster that Brad Davis is building. And there's something to this recruiting snowball. You get Bryce Underwood in the boat. You get Harlem Berry in the boat. You get DeCorian Moore in the boat. And all of a sudden, guys start looking around going, damn, LSU's got some dudes in this class. I'd like to play with that. Doesn't always work out, but this is some juice. And you consider that Underwood's from across the country in Michigan. DeCorian Moore's from Texas. Micah DeBose, this is not like getting Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, Jeremy Hill, Kenny Hilliard, Lale Collins, Freak Johnson, all from the same state. It's not like getting Leonard Fournette and Malachi Dupree all from the same state. This is going out nationally and casting a bit of a net, and LSU's got a brand that's able to do that. And I want to start in the state, and LSU's going to get 9 of the top 10 in the state this year. But you also kind of got to go out as well. And this looks to be like a monster of a class that Brian Kelly and his staff are putting together. And that shouldn't come as a huge surprise because everybody that he's got on this staff is regarded as a high-level recruiter. And I go back to that Kirby Smart quote all the time. It's players, not plays. Players, not plays. You draw them up as good as you can draw them up. If you don't have the dudes to go do it, you're going to get beat. LSU over the last 25 years has been able to go get the dudes. Hopefully, Micah DeBose is the next dude in that line to go with a class that's looking to be as good as one that we've seen at LSU. It's early, and we know what happens when players get to campus at times. Classes can fall apart. Look over at College Station. But it's a good place to start. Micah DeBose looks to be interested at LSU, and a lot of the folks in the recruiting industry are starting to think that maybe a trajectory headed towards Baton Rouge would be another player ranked first at his position in LSU's recruiting class of 2025. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.